Hello, everyone. I hope you are well. It's a beautiful day here, and I hope that where you are, it's a beautiful day and that you've been able to get out and enjoy the sun some today. Um, we have come to the end of Unit 8. We have finished our first unit completely online over the internet. Congratulations. High five. Woo! Or clap, 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 clap. Good job. So now that we are at the end, I wanted to take a few minutes to review our unit, to remind ourselves of where we've been and some of the things that we've talked about. If you remember, Unit 8 started on page 96 and 97, and it started with a story about Teresa and her coworker David. Now, before we talk about the story, however, um, and as you're turning to page 96 and 97, let's remind ourselves of our unit goals that we talked about on top of page 97. The first unit goal was to identify problems at work and school, and our story talked about Teresa and David, and the particular uh, problem that she had with her coworker David, which was that he was not doing his share of the work. He was leaving early, and she was having to close the shop all by herself. You could probably think of other problems that come up either um, at your work or even in your home. And, problems are everywhere, and you have to think about how can we solve those problems, which is part 2 of our goals, was to provide solutions and identify consequences to those solutions, right? So in our chart, if you remember about our story, we wrote down what the problem was. Coworker David was not doing his share of the work, and then the possible solutions that Teresa could have. She could quit her job. Well, what are some of the consequences? She would have to find a new job. She would not have a paycheck, right? She could talk to David. But what are some of the consequences of that? What if David got mad and wanted to shout at her and angry or started to do mean things to her because she tried to correct him, right? So every action has a consequence, some good, some bad, and we don't always know what the best solution is. Another possible solution was to tell her boss, or to make a chart of tasks. And so each of these possible solutions have different consequences, and some may be better than others, and some may affect her, some may affect just David, and some may affect both of them, and be better for both of them. And so if you remember, the solution she chose was to make a chart of the task, and they would have to put the first letters of their first and last name beside the job or the task they did, and then they would, to show that they had completed the task. If David didn't do that, then she would tell her boss, right? So whether it's at school, at home, at work, there's always going to be problems, and we always have to think through possible solutions or ideas. Here's one example of thinking through 4 different possibilities of 4 different possible solutions, 4 different answers, and then thinking through, well, if I do this, then this and this will happen. If I do this, this and this will happen, right? So we have to think through those. And then our final goal is to identify hard and soft skills, and we'll talk about more about those when we get to lesson D when we review that one. So, to finish our review of lesson A, we've talked about the story and identifying problems at work and school, and how Yolanda came up with and her friends came up with possible solutions. Let's talk about some of the vocabulary that was introduced, that we learned along the way. In the yellow box, we have the word chart. And chart, if you remember, is it's like a table. It's a picture with not like a flower, but with lines going up and down and then side to side, and then maybe has the task written: mop the floors, and clean the bathroom, and replace sugar, uh, throw out the trash, right? And it, going down, it has different jobs like that. And then at the top, maybe it has Teresa's name, and then maybe it has David's name, right? And then under the person's name, beside the job, is an empty box. And then you could, whoever did it could check it, right? Or maybe it has a list of jobs. Use two hands, list of jobs coming down, and then maybe what the days of the week going across the top, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So if mop the floor, Monday, Teresa would put a T for her, right? That's a chart. We use charts all the time. It's helpful. Deal with means to find a solution, cope with a problem. All right. So if there's a problem, you must deal with it. You must find a solution. Doesn't always mean it's a good solution. Sometimes we talk about the way we deal with the hard things that have happened to us in life, right? There are many ways we can deal with, find a solution, find healing from those problems. Sometimes if we have had something hard happen to us, something that has created a heart wound, that has left a scar on our heart, sometimes we like to drink, or maybe we use drugs, or maybe we start smoking a lot. Those are ways sometimes we deal with hard things. But also, a good way is maybe we talk to people, or we write in a journal, or we go for a run. So deal with just means find a solution, whether good or bad. So yeah, initials, as I already mentioned, is the first letters of the first and last name of you. So my name is Brian Hogan. So Brian starts with a B, and Hogan starts with an H. So my initials are BH. Share means to do equal parts, or to have equal parts. Whether if you're sharing your food, if I'm sharing my pizza with you, you get 4 slices, I get 4 slices. If I'm sharing my work with you, you do 8 tasks, I do 8 tasks, right? So we're doing the same amount. Not one person doesn't do all or most, and some person does little or none. We all work together to do the same amount, or we give the same amount so that not one person has all and one person has none. So we can share food, give equal parts of food, we can share jobs, we can even share our houses where we welcome people into our house and give them what is ours so that they have a place to stay. That is also a way we can share. Close up means to close up is the locking of the door of a place and leaving. But before you close up, a part of the closing up process is to maybe clean the floors, take out the trash, turn off the lights, turn on the electrical system, alarm system, walk out, lock the door. That's what it means to close up. It means to shut down the store because you are finished for the day and everyone is leaving. So you close up at the end of the day when everyone is leaving. You close up the store when you are leaving. Everyone is leaving. Exhausted means really, really, really tired. You're tired. You're very tired. Imagine many of us are exhausted from the stay-at-home or shelter-in-place rule mandate that we're in, because we cannot get out. We cannot go see friends. For some of us, getting out and seeing friends makes us happy, right? And now we are stuck at home, and we cannot see other people, and we get tired. We can't. We just get exhausted, right? Or maybe you need time alone, and you're around people in your house all the time, and you're around, and you cannot get rest, so you just get tighter and tighter, and you get exhausted, right? Or if you are working, maybe you have had to work 12 hours, and in the 12 hours, normal work hour is 8 hours, right? And so at the end of 12 hours, you are very exhausted because it is more than you have had to work before. Negotiate means to talk to someone to find a solution or to find an answer to a problem that works for both, that is good for both parties. A lot of times we talk about 2 countries maybe fighting, or 2 peoples in one country that are fighting. They will negotiate peace. They will talk to each other to find answer that is good for both parties so that both parties can be happy and have peace. So countries negotiate, businesses negotiate to find solutions that they maybe can work together. Sometimes married couples negotiate, right? To negotiate, maybe I give you something and you give me something, you give up something and I have to give up something so that we both are happy and come together and are equal. To work something out is, again, something like is the process of finding the solution, the process of fixing the problem, getting the answer to the problem. So, quick overview of our questions, or our words on page 97. If you remember back to lesson B, we talked about two types of verbs, and they were the present perfect and the present perfect continuous. And if you remember, I said that both the present perfect has an idea of an action that started in the past and is ongoing. But a way to think about the difference between present perfect and present perfect continuous, present perfect maybe is an action that began in the past and just recently finished, or just was recently completed, right? So we have just completed reviewing our lesson A, right? We have just completed. Or I could say we have been reviewing Unit 8 for the past 15 minutes, right? So what that means for present continuous, the action is still ongoing. But for the present perfect, it is a completed action. It has the idea of a completed action, right? Before we do examples, let's talk about how they are formed. A little windy today. Touching my board. Maybe you can remember, or maybe you heard when I said it, the present perfect is have or has plus the past participle. Have completed. Have watched. Right? But the present perfect continuous, a little different, has the have or has, depending on the subject, but then it has been, and then the verb ing. So for the present perfect, it's have or has, depending on the subject, plus the past participle. The past participle is the verb plus ed normally, but as you remember, if it's irregular, it takes a different form, like go, went, that's right, or take, took, taken. So be careful about the past participle if you need help. Look in the back of the book, it's like 148 and 49. And then the present perfect continuous is have or has plus been plus the verb ing. Technically, it's the present participle. Past participle, present participle. The verb ing is present participle, but easier to remember have or has plus been plus the verb ing. Remember, we're using the present perfect for an action that has just recently finished or been completed, And the present perfect continuous is an ongoing action that started in the past. So let's have a couple examples that helps us review. Need to erase my board. Maybe I'll leave it up for a second. Making it up as go along. Okay, here we go. Here's our first example. Okay. It's 9 a.m. What is Mr. Golden doing? He blank just opened the door to his office, and our verb is not open but open. Might have given away the answer there. If you remember, just means like that. Recently happened, very recently happened. If you think about opening a door, it's a very short time action, so it happens like that. So it's going to be our present perfect. And because he, we're going to use has just, and the past participle of open is open with ed. Let's see. My eyes over the top. Let's do another one. Here, it's 10:30 a.m. What are the students doing? They like class. Our verb is start. Again, just similar. It's going to give us an idea that it's a recently completed action. So we're going to use our present perfect. So our subject is they, so we will not use has, but have. Past participle of start, which is started with an ed. Do a couple more. So you can see the difference. So the next question is, where are you? What have you been doing? The bus is late. I blank for 30 minutes. And our verb is wait, right? So the action seems to be ongoing, that the person calling in the first sentence, or the person asking in the first sentence, does not know where you are still, right? And so that you missing is still ongoing. So we're going to use the present perfect continuous. I uses have been. I have been waiting for 30 minutes. It's an ongoing action. The person is still waiting for the bus, right? The bus is late. The bus has not yet come. So the person is still waiting. Right. I'm going to do one more example. That's number 2, so that you can see the contrast between the present perfect and the present perfect continuous. So here's the last example. Number 4, completely out of order. But hey, we're making it up as we go. Here's our last example for lesson B. It's 5 p.m. What is Shala doing? Right, here's a clue. Ongoing action. It's talking about an ongoing action. What is she doing currently? She blanked on the phone for 20 minutes. So we don't see something, a completed action. We see an action that is still ongoing. So we're going to use the present perfect continuous, which would be she. We're going to use has been talking. That's right, talking on the phone for 20 minutes. She has been talking for 20 minutes, and who knows how long she will probably keep talking. Good. So that is a quick review of lesson B, the difference between present perfect and present perfect continuous. Remember, both talk about actions that began in the past and are ongoing, but the way we are making a difference, a distinction between present perfect and the present perfect continuous is that the present perfect shows a recently completed action, an action that has just completed, just finished. And the present perfect, so that you can remember one more time, is made by using the have or has, depending on the subject, plus the participle, past participle. And then the present perfect continues is an action that began in the past and still is ongoing. And for that one, we use have or has, basically, depending on the subject, plus been, plus the verb, ing. So if I were to quiz you, everyone would now make a right? Yep, exactly. So, for lesson C, we talked about participle adjectives. Fancy word. But what we were doing is we were using verbs as adjectives, either with ed or ing. And we're learning how to use those correctly. So let me situate myself. This is the fancy word, participle adjectives. Remember, you don't always have to remember that. But we were talking about ed adjectives and ing adjectives. And if you remember, adjectives ending in ed describe the way a person feels. They describe an emotion or the feeling a person has, right? So maybe someone is bored or tired, or one of our words from the box, exhausted. But you could also use, it could be good things, right? Like excited or interested or amused, right? So good or bad feeling, we use adjectives with the ed to talk about things that the way we feel. So I am bored, or you are tired, or they are exhausted, or we are excited. He is interested in mining. The children are amused by the new TV show, right? So it's describing the way a person feels. ing, however, verbs describe a situation. So this video is boring. The pandemic is exhausting. Late nights are tiring. The TV show is exciting. Deep sea mining is interesting. The TV show is amusing. If you hear what I did, the children are amused by the TV show. The TV show is amusing. So here, the children are amused. I'm describing the way the children feel. Here, I'm talking about the TV show. It is amusing. Pandemic is exhausting, right? It's a thing, it's a situation. It's exhausting, so I use ing. But I am exhausted by the pandemic. If I'm talking about the way I feel, I use ed. Okay? So, something to remember. Can I say the teacher is boring? Yes, you can say that if you remember, right? If you're describing the person, right? Not the way the person feels, but you're describing the person. You can use ing. The teacher is boring. He never shows any emotion, right? The child is tiring. What does that mean? That means that the child makes you feel tired. Why? Because they do not sit still. They always need to be entertained, right? So in that case, the child, you can say, use ing because you're describing how the child makes you feel. The child is tired. So you have to think about what are you communicating, and are you describing the situation or are you describing what you feel? If you're describing what you feel or a person feels, use the ed. But if you're describing the situation or describing the person, ing, right? He is an interesting person. He has traveled to many countries in the world, right? We're describing him. And to us, he is interesting. Why is he interesting? Because he has traveled to many countries. So let's do a couple examples, and then we'll talk a little bit longer. So, Bear with me as I write. So number 1. Okay, number 1. Did Sadiq enjoy his vacation in Alaska? Yes, he said it was exciting. What are we describing? Are we describing he or it? We're actually describing it here. Here is a quote. This is what he said. What did he say? It. So it was, so we're describing a thing or a situation. It was exciting. ING. All right, number 2. How was the movie? Not very good. So what are we talking about? Are you thinking about what are we talking about? We're talking about the movie. So we're talking about a thing, a situation. So it was really disappointed. Is it a person? Is it the way a person feels? No, it's describing a situation. It's describing the movie, so we're going to use ing, disappointed. Right. Our third example. Why didn't Juliana come to school today? She was too tired or too tiring. All right, are we describing a person, the way a person feels, or are we describing a situation? We are describing a person, so we're going to use ed. She was too tired. Why? Because she stayed up too late last night, or she didn't sleep well. She didn't sleep well, right? So we're describing the way she feels. She feels too tired. So we're going to use the ed. Okay. And our last example for lesson C. Why were the children bored or boring? Because it was raining and they couldn't go out. So here, why were the children bored or boring? Because it was raining and they couldn't go out. Okay, so are we talking about the children or are we talking about the situation? We're talking about the children, the way they feel. They are bored. I imagine your children have been bored recently with the rain and also having to do schoolwork at home and not being able to leave home very much and see their friends, right? So, we're describing the way the children feel. They feel bored. Good. So remember, when we're describing the way a person feels their emotions, we use adjectives using ed. But if we're describing a situation, we're going to use an adjective using the ends in ing. If I am bored, if I am tired, I need to go to bed. If I feel tired, I use ed. But if running 10 miles, after running 10 miles, I am tired. Running 10 miles is tiring, right? The first, I describe the way I feel. The second, I'm describing the situation of running 10 miles, so I use ing. Yeah, good review. All right, let's go on to lesson D. On page 102. In page 102, we talked about hard and soft skills. We read an article about Sam Sarang and him winning the Employee of the Year award because of his hard and soft skills. Just a quick review of hard and soft skills. Soft skills are personal and social skills. The example they gave in the book for soft skills that Sam had was that he gets along with his coworkers, and he has a strong work ethic. So soft skills are social and personal, right? They are skills that we have about interacting with other people, the way we think about ourselves, even the way we take care of ourselves, how we are able to problem solve in a way that finds answers where both people are happy and not just one person is happy and the other person is completely upset, right? It's also things like work ethic, what you value as good, and what you see as important, or what you think is important. Come back to that second. Okay. We're going to talk about hard skills real quick. Hard skills, on the other hand, are technical skills a person needs to do a job. And some examples from the book were repair cars, trucks, and motorcycles. And took classes and got a certificate So hard skills are skills that you need in order to do a job, and those are usually skills that can be easily taught. And the example I gave when we did the example is like a nurse. So knowing how to take a temperature, take blood pressure, to draw blood, to maybe prick a finger, things like that. Those are hard skills, right? Things that you can teach, and then either you do a good job or you do a bad job. It's easy to tell. Like you can see, oh, this is good job, this is bad job, right? Soft skills, what makes soft skills different is they are harder to teach. You can teach them, but it takes many years, a lot of years, many times, to be able to teach a soft skill, and it takes a big change, right? You almost have to change the heart to get them to see a different value. And so hard skills, easy to teach, easy to test, easy to show, oh, this person understands. Soft skills, very hard to teach, and maybe takes many years, maybe lifetime, to teach, and then maybe change, right? You can teach them, but very hard. Not as easy to teach, because soft skills point more to the heart. And if you think back to the article and the question, which is more important, the manager said soft skills, because hard skills you can teach anyone, but these, teaching a good work ethic, teaching someone to get along with other people, very hard. And if a person has this, good. So think about ways you can improve your soft skills. How can you be better at talking with other people? How can you be better about connecting with people and how they feel, and maybe how they think or interpret things? Or what countries have different work ethic and different expectations for jobs? Think about what is good for US, right? Think about what good work ethic is in the US, and maybe how that might be different from where you are, and how can you make that better? How can you get better or improve for this country? Good. So, and then finally, in lesson E, we practiced writing a cover letter. If you still want to send me a copy of that, or 2 examples from the internet of good and then maybe a bad cover letter, feel free to do that. So this has been your review of Unit 8. Quick review maybe, but whole unit. Next week we'll start, eventually next week we will start with Unit 9. Hope this has been helpful for you. I've enjoyed making these for you, and we'll carry on until we finish the book. Alright, take care, and we'll talk again soon. Bye-bye.